This show is sponsored by ExpressVPN. Don't like the government spying on you? Then visit expressvpn.com/watchchad to stay anonymous. Hey, it's party time, Mom. Welcome to another episode of the Chad Prather Show. We are in the mothership, which is Studio 22, the Puppet Master Mark driving us into the nether regions, which are all things cultural and good to know. Are you pretty good? Mark, are you okay?
I'm pretty good, I gotta say.
I want to make the shirt that says "Make America Pretty Good Again." It's pretty good.
Brilliant idea.
I mean, the folks who watch this show would get it, right? The rest of the folks would get pissed off. But that's what we're in the business of pissing people off, Candice. Candice, the queen of the Ethiopians, my brain, my filter, the one who tells me what to think and all things to say. And when I say the wrong thing, she stares holes through me.
That's true.
It's true, isn't it?
Yeah.
Remember the days when we could cuss on this show?
I do.
Yeah.
Not fondly, though.
Not fondly, because
Yeah.
you still edited certain words out. My mother said to me the other day on the phone, she said, "I'm glad that you don't cuss as much on the show anymore." I'm like, "Mom, I've never." She's like, "Oh,
Never
well."
do that. No.
Oh, well. Just before we started rolling the cameras, Hot News Natalie, sitting over here at the Party Foul Pub, she got a scathing letter from a woman who's never even had a chance at being a Dallas Cowboys cheerleader.
Or a man.
She could have been a man.
It could have been a man.
It's
Or both.
Or both.
I miss 2019 when we just couldn't figure that out. You know, those were the good old days. Like, we had 27,000 genders. Nobody could define what they were. And you had to identify yourself with your pronouns or you were going to get, verbally molested by somebody.
Now you're either just COVID positive or COVID negative, right?
Pretty much. They don't even care if you're HIV or herpes or got the clap or what. If you got the COVID, that's all that matters.
I got some hate mail because I won him from Texas, and everybody from Texas is stupid. I cheer for the Dallas Cowboys. That just makes me a dumbass.
Well.
And I'm a Trump supporter.
No, that was it right there.
And that makes me unintelligent.
That was the issue.
Was the issue. Remember what I always say, the issue's never the issue.
Yeah.
That was the one right there.
Yeah.
So she had to dig into everything else. And it's funny that you read that message and I automatically knew it was a she. Weird. Weird. Just in the way they word it.
Steve told me to message her to feed her cats.
Yeah. I don't think her cat's been fed enough. That's yeah. You can use whatever euphemism you want on that one. Party foul. Steve has some practical wisdom.
Yeah.
He does.
People,
Well, I don't have a lot because yesterday I went to the post office in Irving.
Yeah.
I think they have to wear masks there.
You were the only one without
I
a
was
mask.
the only one without a mask, and I might as well have third eye.
Yeah.
But I finished my business and walked out.
Yeah, I do.
God, you had your pecker hanging out.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
You put that out, they don't even look at your face.
Distraction.
Have y'all seen the meme? It's got Bill Clinton wearing the mask and then Monica Lewinsky, but it's got a whole Yeah, I know. Oh, my good friend Chuck Ebert, Grammy Award winner Chuck Ebert. He's blushing over there. Chuck and I are working on a new album. Right now, the tentative working title is Y'all Shut Up.
Y'all shut up.
And it's got some fun songs on there. Some you've heard, some you haven't, and then some comedy on it. Hopefully, we'll get that thing out this summer. What do you think?
I'm looking forward to it, man. We got a lot of great things going and some cool titles. Flip You Like a Pancake.
Flip You Like a Pancake.
Oh, man. That's funny.
Yeah. I
Bossy
can't wait.
Toe.
I'm excited about
It's fun,
these
man.
songs.
It's going to be great.
Well, here we are, folks. We're in the state of Texas. God bless the center of the universe. Nothing represents the state of Texas better than standing your own ground. You know what I've always said. We operate under a little bit of humble arrogance, and that's okay. It's a large part of what makes the state so incredible. Hardworking people who stand up for their rights and the rights that have been given to us under the United States Constitution. And if we don't like them, then, hey, we're Texas. We can be our own country again. That's just how we roll. One person that has exemplified that in recent weeks is Shelley Luther. You've heard all about her, the owner of the Dallas-based salon a la mode. Shelley defied the recent lockdown orders that were put in place, and as a result of the novel coronavirus, a lot of things that have changed all of our lives certainly changed hers. And she said, I'm going to reopen my salon. And you've all heard about it. We're going to talk to Shelley, and we're just going to have fun with it. How about that? Okay? Because you're not going to get this on The View. You understand what I'm saying? And we're just going to have fun. All right. Now, unless you plan on self-isolating forever, you're going to need to be around other people. Again, one of the best ways to avoid getting sick is a healthy immune system. I mean, look at this just the embodiment of health. I can't even say it right, Candice. I can't even say it right. Listen, you need to be taking Field of Greens from Brickhouse Nutrition. One scoop of Field of Greens has a full serving of real USDA certified organic fruits and vegetables, which boosts energy, supports a healthy immune system. If you're out of shape and don't eat healthy, your risk is higher. It's as simple as that. Plus, you get a diet of fruits and vegetables, and you reduce your risk of heart disease, hypertension, stroke, even cancer. Plus, Field of Greens is prebiotic and probiotic, things you didn't even know you needed. It's a great source of vitamins and fiber and nutrients. Just put 1 scoop in a glass of water, stir it, drink it, you're done. And right now, I'm going to get you 15% off your first order with the offer code CHAD at brickhousechad.com. brickhousechad.com. My favorite thing, Candace, is the dawn to dusk. I keep saying that. It's that slow release energy. I feel so good today. Hey, I'm going to save you the money. Extra 10% every single month. Turn your body into a brick house with Field of Greens. brickhousechad.com. Go to brickhousechad.com today. We'll be right back. All right, folks. You have to be living in a cave somewhere if you haven't heard of Shelley Luther and her salon a la mode. Of course, she defied the orders here in Texas. She said, I'm opening up. Shelley, welcome to the show. Glad
Thank
you're
you.
here. She's got her boyfriend, Tim Georgieff, over there. Tim's been by your side through all this stuff. And
I think Tim's had it worse than me, honestly.
yeah, it's one of those hard deals. And Tim and I have known each other for a few years, and Tim's a musician. And, you know, you guys have a band. I mean, there's a lot of things. There's these dimensions. People think they see you on TV or in the news and they think there's just this one-dimensional person. This is who she is. She made her political statement. She got her fame. She got all of this notoriety, and that's all there is to it. It would be hard for me. I've always said to either have a wife or a daughter or somebody who is getting attacked on a public scale, on a large scale, whether it's social media or whatever it may be. And, of course, all you have to say, no matter where you go in this country, is salon owner in Texas, they know who you're talking about. Has that been tough for you, Tim?
It is. And, you want to jump to the defense right away. And sometimes really, actively. But, Shelley and I have talked about it a lot. And it's like we're trying to learn to shrug a lot of that off and realize that we can't fight all our own battles or defend ourselves. We have to allow our friends to help do that for us. So, but yeah, it's really tough when you see something happening, or even like when she went to jail and have to go home and tell her daughter, okay, so, mom's in the pokey, and and then answering her phone and literally people calling from like Fox News, can we talk to Shelley? And I'm like, well, she's in jail, and they start laughing. Like, no, seriously,
No, for real.
Yeah, so it's definitely it's been a
She's in a cell next to Joe Exotic. Shelley and the Tiger King making
Now
news.
that would have been a movie.
That would be fun. We could create that.
Let's do it.
How many hours you spend in jail?
48.
48. So you were there 2 days.
Yes.
2 days. Steve, what was your longest stretch?
8 hours.
8? I think my longest stretch was 8.
Shortest was an hour.
Yeah.
We
you
need
guys
to
are
add
rookies
all
at
of
this.
y'all's mugshots right here.
We
We're
should.
just going to start adding everybody's mugs.
Yes.
I would have capitalized on this. I'd have me mugshot T-shirt made.
Steve
Oh, my
does. He
God.
has a party foul mugshot from when he was in jail back when he was
I think
It's
it's a
on a
little
shirt?
early for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Too soon.
Too soon. Too soon.
Too soon.
It might not go over so well.
Wait till after it's all been expunged.
Yeah.
So,
I'm going to make sure I use the right word.
listen. So, Shelley, you've got. I'll ask it this way: if you could go back a couple of weeks, would you do everything the same way you did it?
Oh, absolutely.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I can't think of anything I would have done differently. Of course, it's always a learning process the whole way, but the decisions I made, no. Absolutely not.
That's good. I mean, that's great because, you look at a situation, obviously, you didn't know what you were getting into. You certainly didn't expect all of this.
No, not at all. I had no idea. We were pretty boring before. I mean, yeah, we sang in a band, but we woke up at like noon and we're like, hey, what's going on?
Yeah.
We have 5 acres. We have, animals. We rescue horses and stuff. So our day was like basically nothing. And now like I woke up at 5 a.m. And I'm like, whoa, this is weird outside. I've never seen this before because I never woke up like that.
Yeah.
So
Party Foul Steve would die to have that kind of attention.
I mean,
he may have to die in order to get that kind of attention.
Probably
Depends
so.
on how we send him out. But tell me this. Don't feel sorry for him. Trust me. Don't even give him sympathy.
Thank you for turning the conversation to me for that moment.
You're welcome, Steve. Narcissist.
His
We're all
PayPal
narcissists
is-
around here. His Venmo.
Steve.
My question is, Shelley, if you could go back, get in your head in that moment where you made the decision to open a la mode back up, what ultimately, if you pinpointed it, what was the motivation?
I think we looked back and said I made the decision around the 18th of April and I opened the 24th. Honestly, it was several things. One of the things being like they kept pushing the date back and back and back that we were going to be able to open, and still not sure about that. And then not getting any of the stimulus money. No, I applied for both of the SBA loans and they don't even reply back to you. And then you hear the bigger businesses took all the money and then you never even got replied back to. And then my stylists were saying, we've got to go to people's houses and go underground. And that's when I decided, because that's not a sterile environment. I don't want them getting sick. I don't want them passing the disease around. So I said, you know what? I can create a much safer environment. I'm just going to open.
Mm-hmm. That's the beauty of being an American. And then you add being a Texan on top of that, and you put that attitude to it, and it's like, yeah, we're going to do this.
Right.
Because I've had people who have pushed back and said, well, she could have waited. She could have waited a little bit longer. And I'm like, but she didn't have to.
I bet those people are getting a paycheck.
They're probably getting a paycheck. Most of the people who are complaining about it, they haven't stopped, like our politicians and our judges and all of these different
Or
folks.
they're making more money on unemployment than they would regularly working.
Yeah.
So those are usually the people against me.
Yeah. And that's the thing. People don't want to be honest about that, but that's the deal. So there's been speculation, and you were telling me you don't even know if it came from PPP. Were you receiving any funds from that, or?
No, it just, so $18,000 2 days before my infamous court date, $18,000 just dropped in my account. But I had also set up a credit card machine for the ladies to use at the salon. And when we first opened, and we were the only salon open, the line was crazy. I think one of the ladies made $3,000 or $4,000 in a day. And so I didn't know if that was the drop from Square.
That's better than stripping, Natalie.
Good ankle.
Yeah,
Right there,
you do
it's
have
on
to
the
go to
cusp.
school for that, they say, so I don't know.
You don't need a
You're
license.
too dumb though, right? You're too dumb.
I'm unintelligent.
Unintelligent.
You Trumpy.
Trumpy. Trumptastic.
I didn't and my life was pretty crazy then. So I just told Tim, I'm like, I don't even know what this is. And I'm looking for emails from the bank that I filed with and nothing, and anything in the mail, nothing. And so I thought it possibly could be, but I was also receiving, money that I needed to pay the stylist from that credit card machine. So
did you guys have a talk? You discussed it, you and Tim, and said, all right, I'm doing this. Tim, what'd you think?
Well, no, it was more like this. She taps me on the shoulder and says, hey, I'm going to open the salon. And that was, what am I going to say? I said, okay. But then there was some planning that went on, but it was really, people don't realize, you don't wait until you're out of money and starving before you start making a plan. We were looking at this, and the governor and everybody kept pushing it back, and we were looking at another month, maybe 6 weeks of being closed. So,
let's be honest too. The week before I opened, my daughter, who was working at Chick-fil-A, had the only income coming in the house. And the week before we opened, she was the one buying our groceries.
Right.
Wow.
So let's just go there. And that doesn't mean that if we needed to scrape up something, we couldn't. But when you have a small business, you have a mortgage and all those other expenses. No, we weren't desolate, but we could not make all of those payments.
we're coming
and then
up on
what
a
do you
point,
do?
Yeah, where everything's due. So, so we start planning, and that's when that started happening.
Well, and as you said you've got 5 acres, you rescuing horses. There's people say, well, that's a luxury. It's not.
Oh, no, it's the opposite.
It's not a luxury.
It's not. They are very expensive pets. They're like large dogs. They get to just roam around free and live their life, but man, it's expensive. We have 9
right now.
9 and 2 mini donkeys that we rescued. It's expensive, but it was
Rescued
fine
from-
when the business was open.
Yeah, rescued from death, from being
the
slaughtered.
slaughterhouses,
So it's
yeah.
not like we were just getting horses because we wanted them. These are perfectly good horses that are just being slaughtered in so that's been a passion of hers for a while.
So I mean, technically, you had food out in the pasture.
Well, I mean,
when we were like
Some
opening up the bank
countries.
account and needed to get a roll, a bale of hay, we're like,
that's the hard thing because. I see the hypocrisy that could come out of that because people would say, oh, well, they have these rescue horses and things like that. But at the same time, what if you had just put them down and said, okay, we don't have that expense anymore?
Right.
Then you'd have had
we didn't have the
other
money to put
side
them down. That's
coming
more
at
expensive.
you.
I'm telling you right now, like the vet bills for them are crazy.
I always say don't have a hobby that eats. People don't realize.
That's a girlfriend too. So.
Yeah.
She puts him down. She really would be in prison with Tiger King, like
Yeah, I
right
know.
next to
Oh,
him. They'd be in
man.
a shared.
No, that
cell.
other lady would come kill me or something.
Carol
Carol
Baskin.
Baskin. Carol Baskin. She's coming for you, Shelley. Oh my gosh.
Feed me to her tiger.
I love having ex-cons on the show. It's so fun.
Room full of them.
My daughter says I have street cred now.
You do.
I'm finally cool. She just turned 17 and I'm finally cool.
Well done.
They said I should have got a teardrop though, but
Yeah, you should have killed somebody.
That's funny. My 17-year-old has my mugshot in her bedroom hanging on the wall. So.
as if it's like proud daddy
Yeah,
moment.
proud. Very
Awesome.
proud of it.
You should see where Steve got a tattoo.
No, where did he get the
It's 'cause-
tattoo?
Never mind.
You have a
Somebody tore
tramp
him
stamp,
up.
Steve?
That's a whole other deal.
No. We're good.
But you look at the situation and you've told the story. You've been in all these different media hits, and you were on The View the other day. You've been on Fox and Friends. You've been on Hannity at this Tucker, and I mean just everything, all these different places. You enjoying it at all? I mean, is that element? And I know it's okay to admit it. I mean, just because the reason I ask that is you've brought attention to something that I believe is a really important topic.
I'm enjoying it because it's become a passion of mine to kind of speak up when a lot of people were afraid to, and it's kind of enlightening people like, oh, you're allowed to tell people they can't come in your business. Like when the police come, you don't have a warrant, you're not coming in, and people have been so accustomed to just doing whatever the government or police tell them to do, and they've forgotten about all the rights that they have. So it's been kind of a passion of mine now to kind of wake people up and say, you do have the right to speak up for yourself. And if a judge says something to you and he says, do you have something to say? Yeah, I do. I do.
You had, there's so many questions, and we'll get into them as we move forward. But everybody's seen the video when you guys came out, you get released, you come out, microphones are shoved in your face.
Ugly crying.
Yeah. And
With
you
masks.
got
No
the masks.
makeup.
I mean, you got the masks on. You're doing the thing, but this whole deal has transpired now, and I'm sure you are in the whirlwind at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Do you recall what was going through your head at that point? I mean, were you prepared for having that shoved in your face?
You can never be prepared for that because you have to remember, like when I was in jail, yes, people started a GoFundMe. It was actually the day before I opened because I was already doing interviews before I opened because I posted on Facebook we were opening.
Yeah.
I didn't want to hide from it, and I just said we're opening. So we had TV interviews, and we've already had some intervention from TDLR and things like that. So a guy reached out to me and said, we might need to start a GoFundMe for you for attorney fees. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. Before jail, it was like $20,000, which was crazy to me, like crazy amount of money. And then 2 days later, Tim's like, oh, by the way, there's a $500,000 in there, And then 2 hours later, I have all these people, standing outside the jail. So I didn't get to live through it those 2 days. I was kind of kept out of the loop. And then when you get all of those things at one time, man, it's overwhelming.
Because I remember the first, news shot that I saw of you at the salon. The police were there, and it was you were kind of isolated. It was you against them, sort of the way that picture, the way I interpreted it, the way I saw it. And I was
the way the media wants you to see it.
To, which I saw it, and I kind of had an element of pride in myself because, again, I'm that guy who's pissing everybody off by saying, if you want to wear a mask, if you need to wear a mask, wear it. Don't be forced to wear the mask. If you want to open your business, do it. But don't be forced to close it and these kind of things. So I was proud of you that moment, having no idea what was coming. And then the next thing you know, you're
in jail.
Getting street cred.
But
Yeah,
you stood
street
up,
cred.
and I think like being a patriot, you hope that you would do the same thing in that situation, and you did it.
But I wasn't thinking about that then.
Right.
I just knew that as a business owner, I knew my rights of what I could and couldn't do. And so that definitely wasn't in my mind, like, I'm going to stand up and be a patriot. I'm like, no, I'm going to tell them don't come in because you're not allowed to.
Yeah.
You know, so it definitely wasn't like something we thought of beforehand. It definitely developed as it went along.
Hang tight. I want to talk some more about that, and I got some other questions. We're going to talk about the GoFundMe. We're going to talk about all that kind of stuff. We're going to talk about their sex life. It's going to be fun. Hey, listen, if you were hoping to go to the range anytime soon to practice, good luck, because between social distancing and leftist politicians closing gun stores, treating the Second Amendment as non-essential, millions of Americans are without a place to safely practice with their firearms. So thankfully, there's iTarget Pro. Using their proprietary app and the laser bullet that they came up with, iTarget Pro will allow you to safely practice with your actual firearm in the convenience, privacy, and safety of your own home. Dry fire training will develop muscle memory, help with target reaction, speed, sight, alignment, trigger function, and a whole lot more. iTarget comes in all the major calibers, including .223 and .556, so you can stay sharp with almost any firearm you own. Right now, get 10% off plus free shipping with offer code CHAD when you buy iTarget today. Don't let circumstances dictate whether or not you're going back to train. Take back control with iTarget Pro. That's the letter I, targetpro.com. Use offer code CHAD. Go there today. Be right back. We're back. Shelley Luther, Tim Georgia. You said that you had $18,000 that drops in the bank account, and a lot of people say, well, what about that money? $18,000 when you're a business owner, I mean, even in your personal life, when you're trying to run your life with the things that you have going on, it's not a lot of money.
Well, I mean, it sounds shallow to say that, but
it's true.
I've worked really hard for what I have, and I've dumped my savings into that. It's not like I think that I have no money all the time, and it's not that I was ever rich at the time. There's a lot of money that goes out when you have a small business.
Yeah.
And so with our mortgage and that, I mean, we about spend that much a month, just with expenses, driving to, gigs and all that other stuff. We spend a lot of money a month to live.
Yeah, people don't realize what it costs, Steve. I mean, Steve and I, we do as many dates as we do. It costs a lot of money to get up and down the road, and all the things you're involved with. And people are like, oh, you must we make great money, but we also spend a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's the thing of being an entrepreneur and being in business for yourself. But then you wake up one day and all of a sudden, because I kept seeing people, they were making posts and they were like, well, she's already raised like $170,000. I was like, more like $500,000 is in that. Was it a GoFundMe?
It was.
Yeah.
A gentleman I don't know. They have like a website called
Woke Patriots.
Woke Patriots.
Woke
They just started it, and they were looking for someone to sponsor that was kind of leading the way. And it just so happened but a lot of people are like, "Oh, she knew him from before." No, you can read our messages from Facebook when we met. Like, "Hi, can we do a website?" And, yeah.
And I know that people's initial reaction is, she just got $500,000 or whatever. The dollar amount doesn't matter in my mind, but that's where people's minds go. Because they think, oh, well, look at how well she's done with this now. Okay, again, this is America. You're free to make whatever you want to make, do with it whatever you want to do with it. How have you responded to those, I don't want to say accusations, but they're accusations.
Oh, they are. They automatically, to me, I've always said that you don't have to earn my respect. I give it to you. You could lose it, but when I first meet you, you already have my respect.
Right.
So it's troubling to me when people assume automatically that I'm just going to go, buy a Bentley with it or something dumb.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's crazy to me.
Well, if
but
Tim
even though
wasn't here,
I could,
We know you go buy a big truck.
I want a sugar mama.
I thought you were taking us all to Bora Bora. Just throw that out there.
Maybe Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Got it.
We could be there by lunch.
True.
I do speak Spanish. But what I was going to say is, people automatically assume that I'm just going to go blow through that, which you're right. When people sent that money, it was before my foundation was even alive. They said, here's for legal expenses. And most of them say, or for whatever you want.
Yeah.
So if I wanted to spend that money, I absolutely could. That's what the people gave it to me for. But obviously I'm not going to, I want to do good with that money. Obviously.
And that's the thing. Let's talk about the foundation, because you started the foundation. And I know all this has happened so fast.
I mean, it seems like it's been 6 months, but it's been like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Right, but even like we started the process for the foundation one day after you were out of jail. I mean,
Was that 2 days ago?
Which was like 3 days ago. I mean, like this is literally like
getting the DBA and getting the website set up and all of those things happened like that. So the foundation is called couragetosstand.com. You can find it on the web now, and people they can sign a pledge that they're going to take their rights back and freedoms, and basically I want to help people in similar situations as me. Obviously, maybe not as drastic, but there's some 2 ladies that got arrested early on in Laredo for working and doing salon services at home. And we're going to Laredo. We're in Austin tonight for an interview, and then going to Laredo in the morning. There's a rally there. We're going to help them out. One of the ladies has 4 small girls under the age of 10.
Wow.
So I called her. She doesn't speak English, but good thing I speak Spanish, and we're going to present her with a good chunk of money to help her out. And the other gal kind of lives with her mom, so it won't be as much, but we definitely want to recognize them and say, I'm so sorry you got your face posted all over the world as criminals for trying to earn money to feed your family. That's ridiculous.
And I had people who would send, I get the messages even though I'm not involved with anything, right? People just like, it's a public thing, so they want to know my opinion on it. And I'm like, they were like, well, it's because she was white.
It's absolutely.
I mean, 100%. It's because she was white. The Hispanic girls, they had to go to jail. They didn't.
Well, you know what? The Hispanic girls, and I talked to them personally, they were freed right away. They were never even really put in jail. I stayed 48 hours, people. So,
I ugly cried for the
I
world.
ugly cried. No, but I know like the media always makes it bigger than it is. Those ladies did not serve jail time.
Yeah.
And they don't even have any fees or attorney fees. I asked them. I said, so I'm just going to come out there and give you some money because you haven't been working, get you back on your feet. So a lot of that in the media is crazy, and I've been learning a lot lately how untrue most of the media is.
Tell them the name of the foundation again. Courage to Stand.
And couragetosstand.com. And there's also, we'll have a donate button on there soon, but like I said, getting the DBA, getting the bank account open and all that stuff, I've only been out of jail like a couple days. So let's.
My hair salon's been shut down for 49 years. I need some help.
You're not the only one who did this as well. I mean, I may or may not have got my nails done at a place that secretly opened because they just want to make money. What is your message to, because I had a friend that said, yeah, but she still broke the laws of the land. They told her not to.
Law.
Well, she still didn't follow what our government told her to do. And what message is that sending to children? So what would be your message?
Well, the message is, if you feel like something's right and they give you no other alternative, you have to do what you have to do. And if there's kids there watching, my daughter's watching, I'm proud of what I did. I'm proud because if someone doesn't stand up, then it's going to be a communist country. So we got to just get that figured out.
Amen.
Quick. Yep.
And I think that's, and to that point, and I want you to respond on this, is you have in one breath, Governor Abbott says this is what we got to do. And like you said, he keeps pushing back and pushing back. But then when you did what you did and what happened when that Dallas judge passed down his judgment,
You mean Judge Eric Moyer, who needs to go in November?
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's an Obama holder. I mean, anyway, that's the deal. And I agree with you 100%. He does need to go in November. Dallas is a shit show. Dallas is a complete shit show. Any place where you can go and steal $750 worth of personal items, as long as it's not for personal gain and not be prosecuted, that ought to tell you enough.
But when you want to try to earn money for your family,
but when you want to go to work, you can't do it.
the COVID station, because that's where I went.
So you have one thing Governor Abbott says, and then Governor Abbott comes back, Dan Patrick and Ken Paxton, who's the Attorney General of Texas, he comes in and he makes a statement about it. He's like, "Now, this isn't what that judge does isn't right." Could that judge turn around and say, "Well, I'm just upholding what you told me to do, Governor
That's
Abbott"?
what he has said. But they thought that the sentence was extreme. because it should be a civil action, not criminal for what I'm doing. And
Write
you have
you a
to,
ticket, right? And
yeah,
be
well, I
on
got
your
a
way?
citation the first time that they came out, the police, and it was like a civil type citation. And then I got a cease and desist from Clay Jenkins, who also needs to go. And then I tore that up in front of a rally because I just thought it was ridiculous that this man who telling all of Dallas County what to do, not checking with the other commissioners, and who gives him that right? You know, don't tell me to close my shop. Are you going to write me a check to feed my family and all my other stylists? And who's doing your hair, dude? Because it's definitely high and tight and colored. So you're going to tell me what to do, but you don't follow the rules? I don't think so.
Yeah.
So,
And he's getting a paycheck.
correct, a big one.
Yeah.
And he's trying to get the what is the gentleman that owns Tesla?
Elon Musk.
Yeah. Oh, he wrote on his Twitter saying, "I own a Tesla too. You guys, when you move, should come to Dallas County and blah blah blah," bragging about his Tesla when he just laid off 500 people. Furloughed them in Dallas because the businesses aren't paying any taxes because you closed them all.
Yeah.
It's so dumb.
Yeah. I'm going to name drop. I was sitting on the lake down there, and I read the article about what Dan Patrick, his gesture of paying the fine, and he said, I'll do the jail time in her place. I called him on the phone. I was expecting to leave a voicemail. Call him on. He answers on the first ring. Hey, Chad, because I got it like that. and he said, what's going on, man? I said, well, I'm just sitting down here, and I said, I want to talk to you about Shelley Luther. And he says, oh, yeah, so we talked for like half an hour. Honest to God, you know, we talked for half an hour. His wife was there. He said, we were just talking about you last week. And I was like, oh, dear God. Let me show you my mug shots. Because honestly, what I called him about was I said, how can I help? How can we help? How can my team of people help? You know, how can we do things? And he was like, no, I've already wired the money. It's done. It's taken care of. And I was like, and I put it on Facebook. I put it on Twitter. I said, that is the example of leadership Texas has.
Absolutely. He wasn't scared to make a statement and say that someone was wrong. And that's a lot of the problem right now. I think and I feel like Governor Abbott kind of shied away from this a little bit. He wasn't really the reason that I got out of jail. It was my attorney and his entire team working without sleeping, getting that, what do you call it?
The writ of habeas corpus.
Yes, and to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court is the one that got me out. But let's be honest, I could still serve the other 5 days. They only got me out temporarily so they can review the case more. It's very possible that they could send me back and I'd have to serve the other 5 days.
Shelley Luther.
Going back
Caged
in.
Heat.
Yes. So if we can arrange that Tiger King thing, that
Part
might be
2.
Yeah,
Keep it
might be a
interesting.
moneymaker. Yeah.
Luther does time, part 2.
Right.
We got to go to a break. Hey, listen, when you're running a business, you know what we know what you're talking about here. Running a business, HR issues can kill you. Wrongful termination suits, minimum wage requirements, labor regulations, HR manager salaries. They are not cheap. I'm telling you. An average of $70,000 a year. Bambee, spelled B-A-M-B-E-E, was created specifically for small business. You can get a dedicated HR manager, craft HR policy, and maintain your compliance, all for just $99 a month. With Bambee, you can change HR from your biggest liability to your biggest strength. Your dedicated HR manager is available by phone, email, or real-time chat. From onboarding to termination, they customize your policies to fit your business. Help you manage your employees day-to-day, all for just $99 a month. You can do it month to month. You can cancel anytime. There's no hidden fees. You didn't start your business because you want to spend all your time doing HR compliance. So let Bambee help you. Get your free HR audit today. Go to Bambee.com/Chad. Right now, schedule your free HR audit. That's Bambee, BAMBEE.com/Chad. Go today. Be right back. Hey, during the break, we were sitting here talking about all of these places that we know, whether it's salons or restaurants or whatever it could be, staples in certain areas that we've grown accustomed to traditionally, to being a part of these different cities we know of. They're shutting down. And a lot of folks are going to emerge into the light again and go back out into public, and they're going to find that some of their favorite places are gone because, as I've said so many times, it takes so much to just risk to get the courage to go out and start a business. Not to mention the finances and all of the other things that are required. It's hard. It's very hard to do, and that's why most people don't do it. That's why most people are just content to work for somebody else. And it's a hard thing to do. So I stand with you. I really do. It's just one of those things where, every now and then you see a circumstance and you're like, well, I could see both sides of the point. No, I'm standing with you on that.
Thank you.
But I'd stand with anybody who did do that because, like you said, you didn't set out to make some patriotic statement.
And I don't want to hurt anybody either. People are like, I can't believe you want to kill people for a haircut.
People. Yeah.
No, you're totally missing the point there.
Yeah.
I want to safely open my business back up in a more sanitary way than any other place besides a hospital, and let my hairstylists feed their kids.
Yeah.
And we are essential because our job is essential to us.
I have never seen a switch flipped in people's brains like I have through this whole situation. America is the place where we can go into a pandemic, gain weight, get drunk, and lay off medical healthcare workers.
Correct.
It's absolutely crazy. And a 99.6% whatever recovery rate from this thing.
Yep.
But we want to kill an economy. We want to shut everything down.
The aftermath of this is going to be huge.
It's going to take
really
far
sad.
more lives.
Far more lives, depression, the abuse of spouses and kids, suicide rates. I mean, it's just already, but we're going to continue to see this for a long time.
Yep.
And that's what people do. They don't look at the big picture.
Yeah.
They only want to focus on what's happening right now. And that's where the problem is.
Jobs
called
that are never
panic.
going to come back.
It's panic.
Yeah, jobs that are out there that they've had will never come back, many
Right.
of them. Some of them will take years to come back to. You were on The View.
Yes.
The judge demanded that you apologize. Whoopi wanted an apology.
Whoopi wanted an apology. So the judge demanded that I apologize for being selfish by opening my business when he demanded that it was closed down. And so, that didn't happen. But Whoopi wanted me to apologize to the healthcare workers for opening my business, which is weird to me. First of all, yes, especially in New York, man, those people were working crazy hours, and they were doing a lot for us. Yes, heroes in that, because, I mean, you could see the pictures of them with the mask marks on them, like bleeding and all of that stuff. But here, a lot of them are getting laid off and don't even have jobs, and we've never had an issue with hospitals. But my question is, why should I apologize for opening my business and not Walmart, Home Depot, the pet grooming shop that's been open the entire time next to my shop? All of these essential businesses are doing the same thing as me, but since you labeled me non-essential, I should apologize. It makes zero sense.
Why go on The View?
So
I know
I've
you've
had a
been
lot
asked
of
that a
people ask,
million
oh,
times,
yeah,
yeah.
oh man, I've gotten so much crap for that. Here's the thing. We cannot change minds if we don't speak to all the audience. And I'm not scared of what anyone's going to ask me, because what I did was with my heart. I'm following my heart and where it's leading me. And a lot of people are like, what's the next move? I don't even know.
Yeah.
I mean, people are asking him. He's like, how would I know? She doesn't know. I just want to do good, and I want to I can't please everybody, and I've just got to be okay with that right now.
Yeah.
I'm going to piss somebody off all the time.
Heck yeah.
Everybody. And it doesn't matter. I mean, I could cure cancer right now and somebody's going to be pissed that you didn't cure it instead of me. You know what I mean? It's like crazy.
You put all the oncologists out of business. How dare you?
Now what are these people going to do?
That's right.
Right. So
Can't win.
I can't win, but The View, I felt like I wanted to make sure that instead of people making up stuff about me, they could hear what I had to say out of my mouth, because the newspapers just write whatever they want. And it's crazy what they write, like ridiculous, saying that I'm a hired actress, that the Republicans put me here to run against the Democrats. Like, I wasn't even political at all before this. Like, I watched the news and stuff, but when they're calling me the leader of the Tea Party because Sarah Palin came, I'm going like, I don't even know what they're talking about, people. Like, I just want to go to work and, let the hairstylist make money. Yeah. And like, it's just crazy, all of these things people are saying, and people just read the headline and believe it. That's the truth. It's got to be, because some idiot wrote that without asking me. So I wanted to go so people could hear out of my mouth why I did certain things, because the people that I feel watch The View are mostly the ones that are blaming me.
Yeah. Well, you did a good job.
Thanks.
And I know that I know someone in the medical field that you don't owe an apology to because she has your back. And
Thank
it's
you.
very
And we've
near
had
dear to
lots of
me.
letters from healthcare workers. When my salon was open before it should, we had several nurses and doctors coming in there saying, "You go, girl." They're like, there is nothing unsanitary about this place, and it's ridiculous. They work all those long, hard hours, and they want their nails done because we have nails there too. They want their hair done. It's something that makes them feel good. And to talk about essential, non-essential, we have older clients that have disabilities. They can't wash their own hair. So they came to the salon once or twice a week. That was their life. And all of a sudden, they'd gone 4 or 5 weeks without washing their hair because there was no one that could do it. How are we not essential?
Yeah.
How?
Our friends, the Deplorable Choir, they just released a song called 2 Weeks, and it's basically says we're going to find out in 2 weeks what all our friends really look like. Because I have seen some interesting pictures on Instagram of.
But that's not everybody because
Yeah.
a lot of celebrities come on, and I sure see Nancy Pelosi with a full makeup artist because I do
and
makeup.
You realize that Nancy Pelosi's 80 years old.
Correct.
She's pumped full of plastic. I mean, she's got more cement in there. If she has, I mean, seriously, she's pulled so tight. If she has one more facelift, she's going to be the only congressperson wearing a goatee. It's
But
so
you
true.
see that thing where she opens up her like $40,000 refrigerator talking about, oh, during the pandemic, all I can do is eat chocolate. And she pulls out these $12 pints of ice cream while people are starving. Oh,
They really are.
I wanted to
They
punch my
really
TV.
are.
I know.
We talked about it. It's like, we've all been broke. We've all been broke. And like, you don't know. People will send me messages over the years. Oh, your wife's so lucky. And I'm like, she didn't think she was lucky. We had $7.56 in the bank account and had to get to Monday.
Right.
We've been there. And it's a hard thing. And anyway, God bless you. You are raised up for such a time as this. Let me just say that. Because this could have happened to many, many people who did not represent as well as you did. So God bless you for that.
Thank
and
you.
Tim, you as well.
Thank you.
Because I know you've been under a lot of pressure as well.
Yeah.
Y'all hang tight. We'll be right back. Yeah, Chuck sitting over here at the bar was telling us about you got a business over there near you.
Oh
right?
yeah, and
They got
Hazel
shut down.
She did, and it's a salon owner, and Tammy Lance, Neat Cuts in Hazel, Texas, a small town. She had to shut her doors, and so all of her hairstylists gone.
Yeah.
Massage therapists gone.
And
so
that's
she's
the
out
kind
of
of thing.
business.
This foundation,
Yes.
you guys are able to help.
I hope so.
hope so.
She's like, the business is done. Like, she had to close her doors for
It's
good.
done.
Because
It's
she
shut.
couldn't pay the lease
No.
probably. And the hairstylist can't pay her because there's no money.
So they can't pay for the chairs, nothing. They're
So
done.
we definitely need to get in touch with her because this is exactly what the foundation is for. So please have her contact us. We are definitely going to help her out if that's something that she wants. For
Definitely
sure.
will. Definitely.
Yeah.
See,
will.
that's the beauty
Thanks.
of this whole thing. You never know what these circumstances and I tell people, they're sending me messages like, do not make permanent decisions based on a temporary circumstance. And this is so temporary. It needs to be temporary, the thing that's going on. And I mean, you have people who are ending their life.
It's so sad.
You got spousal abuse, you got child abuse, you have all of these things that are alcoholism that's resurging, drug use. It's bad. It's bad. Thank you for being you, first of all. And Tim, thanks for putting up with her. I know.
Yeah, I'm
I
a lot
know.
right now.
It's a job.
I was a lot before, but
I
ooh.
know. Shelley Luther, the website is couragetostand.com. Check them out and continue supporting, all right? Hey, listen, folks, this is the final week. You've got until Friday. The biggest discount we've ever had for Blaze TV. You can get an annual subscription, $30 off. Go to blazetv.com/Chad. Use promo code Chad. You will get $30 off. I think that's like $68, $69 for the entire year. That's a great deal. You get all of Blaze TV's excellent programming. So go to blazetv.com/Chad. Use promo code Chad. And thank you to our sponsors. And I want to encourage you, of course, go to watchchad.com. That's where all the fun stuff is. And once again, we've had fun. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. We will talk to you next time on the Chad Prather Show. Bye.